start a microphone. Let's go, guys. No. Get her in trouble. How you guys doing? Awesome.
How'd the first week going?
First week went really well, as expected, for training camp. The guys coming out, getting acclimated to what we want to do, how we want to do it, how fast we want to play. You obviously have your ups and downs of disappointing moments, highlights from young players, highlights from older players, highlights from things that you get done, highlights from being back together. The happiness is all good. It's good to be in training camp.
How is it having, I mean, you didn't get a chance to work with him when he was gone, but how is it having Troy Hill on campus, and what are you seeing from him sort of in your introduction to him in a way?
It's a real calming figure, another calming figure in that room. He's poised. He's a pro. I just complimented today on how well he's matured in the National Football League, coming from where he came from, coming into this league, how he got here, going through the growing pains of a young player and maturing, and watching how mature he is now, how he moves. He's an example. And when you have those kind of stories, it's a credit to the guys that coached him before, whether it be Ijera, whether it be Aubrey, whether it be Cooley, or whether it be any of the guys that's coached him in that room, or any of the coaches that he had. That's certainly a credit to what he's been able to do in his career.
Raheem, sticking with the cornerbacks, what have you seen specifically out of Cobie and Derion so far this week?
I hate to just point those two guys out. Obviously, they've made some plays, and that's why you're pointing them out. But the competes and the toughness from that group, I've been overall impressed with. How well they've been locked into situations is almost to the point where I can remember the times that they wasn't. And that's a good thing because they're so few and far between that it's becoming second nature for those guys to be on the situations as a young player, to be on what we have going on as a young player, and as the veteran leadership, being a part of that. Coach Ramsey has been on those guys, and they've really taken to him, and it's been great just watching those guys, communicate and go through the process together.
A lot of your younger guys talking about Bobby Wagner's leadership off the field, not just on.
No doubt.
What do you see there?
Kurt, like I go through the process with Bobby, and I was laughing the other day. I was having conversations about it, and I said, it's a difference. We have some great leadership around here, whether it be Fuller having the green dot, or whether it was Troy, or even, at times when Ramsey had it, sometimes, Ernest had it at times last year. But when Bobby has it, it's almost different. People kind of want to listen. It's kind of a different feel. It's like a different attention base. It's a different set of rules. It's kind of like when you put the coaches off the field and you give the call to Bobby, he has the attention that you would have if you were running the classroom. And it's a calming feeling for everybody, particularly him, and particularly for the people around him. Like it's really cool to watch.
He said that you like the trash talk on the walkie-talkie.
I do. He actually found a way to try to get a way to talk back to me. He doesn't have that much clout yet, so I denied him. No. I wish I could say I did, but he wanted to talk a little trash back, and it'd have been kind of cool if he came back through and was able to talk to me. But it's fun. I like to keep it light, as you guys know, and I like these guys to have fun as they get their work done. We got a nice, cool mixture of culture. We got a nice, cool mixture of development. We got a nice, cool mixture of humor, and I really love the way the guys are working together.
Someone else who were trash talking with that looked like your assistant coach, Jalen Ramsey. What's it like having him on the side? And obviously you'd rather be out there. What's it like having him with some of those younger guys?
Sarah actually is terrible having him as a coach. He got all the answers. He wants to make all the checks. He wants to do all this stuff. He's like a really good player that turns into a coach, and they become a really bad coach, and they end up quitting and doing something else. That's who he is right now. So I can't wait till he's a player again. He is a lot of fun though. Just seeing him and how involved he is into what we do, and how invested he is into his young players. And this is the time of the year for that, right? We all know Ramsey, and he can have some moments where emotion takes over what he wants and what he really believes, but his true essence of who he is comes out in these times in the meeting rooms and in training camp. And you hope that builds him to become a better player when he doesn't have the best days that he wants, or is not getting communicated the way he was, because he relies on these type of experiences. And that's only going to help him be a better player, better leader, better everything for us.
How creative do you have to be when, granted, Bobby Wagner is a proven veteran, but to meld him into the way that you guys play?
Gary, as you know, I always talk about this, but and I made light of it yesterday on the radio, but you always got to put your A players in A position, and Bobby's an A player, right? So what does he need? He's kind of guy that needs more, So you want to give as much information as you can right now, because I guarantee you on game day, he gets quiet, he gets silent, and he becomes Bobby Wagner that we've seen for the last 12 years or whatever it's been. And I'm really enjoying working with him because I like giving him information right now. I like the feedback that he gives me. You'll see him every once in a while give a random thumbs up, And that's probably me talking. That means I said something good to him. And I'll see him come off the field, and he better give me great feedback on what he likes and how he likes to hear it and how he likes to go about his business. So that better helps me prepare myself to give him good information. What does he need? What does he want? How does it come across? How is he able to communicate it to his guys? That's what's the most important to me right now.
What's the most tangible difference you see with the impact Bobby's had on Ernest's development in terms of his influence and just learning from him?
It's easy. It's a layup. You know, I watch you guys all the time, but everybody mentions it, how, you know, he doesn't waste movement. You know, it's no secret. You watch him, it almost looks to a fault of laziness. It's really sickening to watch when he always ends up in the right spot. Because, you know, we played this game, a lot of us, and we've been in position, and you work as hard as you can, and you're out of breath, and he seems like he just doesn't waste any movement, doesn't waste any time, doesn't waste any space. He eliminates areas that you didn't think he's going to get to as fast as he can get there. Like watching him not waste steps and waste movement is definitely a credit to his preparation, and you got to give credit to his past coaches. You know, whether you're talking about Pete Carroll, you're talking about Ken Norton, you're talking about Dan Quinn. He's had a lot of people around him, and I'm sure he's taking great qualities from all of them.
You've seen just about every type of defense, offense too, at this point in your career, and Bobby seems to be
That's a nice way for Jordan to call me old, so just so all you guys know. Go ahead, Jordan.
experience. And Bobby seems like he's entering that sort of unique space where he was such a big part of a catalyst for the league in that defense, and now he's on another defense that's become a catalyst for the league. Based on your experience learning and then teaching this system, does that, you think, give him a little bit of a wisdom about himself?
There's no doubt. You know, I was fortunate enough to coach a guy like him, and Derek Brooks. And Derek Brooks, we know, is a Hall of Famer. And what he brought to not just the football character of our team, but what he brought to the people on our team, and what he brought to the building, and what he brought every single day, and how much he was invested in the Buccaneers organization is what you see from Bobby. And I'm sure he gave that kind of stuff to Seattle and that Seattle community. And now for him to have the willingness to be able to share that type of information with us, we can only say that we're blessed and we're fortunate to be around it. And when you see those special type players, the Aaron Donalds, Bobby Wagners, Jalen Ramseys, and you pick their best qualities up and you can compare them to the people that you coached in the past, one, you're old, and two, you have the ability to be around some really good people that you can be fortunate to be around.
What's it like to have that many incredible players on your defense?
It's fun. You know, I've been on the other end of it where you got a bunch of young, unproven guys that go out there and give you everything they got, and you take a certain pride in that. But being with these guys and watching these guys come to work and absolutely challenge you every day to be their best self and be great, and watch our head coach challenge us in different ways that we didn't think he'd be challenged, just based on how he feels, because we don't think we're normal. And it's something to go to bed not feeling normal. And when you wake up knowing that you got a chance to be the very best, if not the best, that ever do.
We know that Aaron Donald is one of the best defensive players in football, but what is it that makes him so good?
Say that again, Sarah. I'm sorry.
We know that Aaron Donald is one of the best defensive players in football, but what is it that makes him so good?
Sarah, when you get a chance to talk to him one-on-one, you immediately know if he allows you to see his personality. But the way he works and the way he comes to work every single day and his mindset, it's just different. You know, you notice it right away. You know, the first month or so I was here, he was evaluating me as much as I was evaluating him. And he wanted to figure out what I was going to do and how I was going to do it. And he was going to be able to either complain or tell me to my face what he wanted to do. And he is all business all the time until he decides to let it off a little bit. And when he lets it off, that's when you know you got him, and that's when you know, like, he's in his best spot that he can possibly be.
Coach, so what do you see in Robert Rochelle's development?
You know, I talked about those young curlers earlier, and he was kind of what I alluded to as well. Like the competes and the toughs from that group, I really think are standing out. You know, Robert Rochelle comes and plays with amazing length in his arms. He comes and plays with amazing 1-2, an amazing movement. I can see above the neck his game starting to improve. And those are things that are all a part about being a great player in this league. When you have the ability to take your game from just being physical talents to the above the neck game, it's the guys that separate themselves in what we do. And that's what I love the most about those guys.
How do you keep guys focused after the year that you had last year, ending the final game? How do you get them every day to focus?
You know, I think the head coach set the tone on that really early. You know, I know a lot of guys are saying hashtag run it back and all this other stuff, but realistically for us, it was really the turn of the page. You know, like when I got here last year, you know, we had a lot of high expectations. You guys all asked me, we were going to be #1 defense, and I told you I wasn't really interested in that. I'm more interested in finding ways to win as a team, for us to be cultivated, for us to win, to us to go out there and do what we need to do, to remain focused, in order for us to look back in a couple of years and say what it was, how special it was, with our media group, with our team, with everybody that we got doing it, that we got a chance to do it with. I'm out of here because he said that was the last one. If you let artists try to ask you again, you got to have another one.